if it's that big and it's that fast, you kind of don't want to mess with it. And I mean, look at Harrington Henderson. He got hit by a station wagon.
This is the Creator Podcast with Jeff and Gus. I am Gus.
And I'm Jeff.
He is Jeff, and today's guest is a super special one, Chris Schatz. He is an amazing tattoo artist. He's a great oil painter, and he's a fine business owner of Gentleman Jack's Tattoo. Welcome to the show, Chris Schatz.
Thank you, Gus. Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
One thing I should point out is Chris has actually done probably the most tattoos that are on my body. They're mostly done by Chris. He does a lot of work and good friend of mine. So this is a really great episode that Jeff and Chris are all together on the show. Happy to have you.
And we were talking about it briefly before. I was talking about how you actually inspired me to go off and start my own business.
Yes, I appreciate you saying that. I really didn't know that. You told me that story, and I forgot I did that.
Yeah. We were hanging out one night, went next door to get some dinner, and I was probably complaining about the situation I was in, as I did often then. And I think you just said, why don't you just do your own thing? And it wasn't like, you weren't the deciding voice. Obviously, it was in my head. But it's nice to have a little. It's nice to have a little push from somebody that you respect.
For sure. Yeah, and I appreciate that you even say that. Like, it's weird in life. You never know what words you say mean anything or how much respect you actually hold around you. You never really know it, and so it's nice to hear that, and I appreciate you saying that. But no, I think anybody should always go off on their own thing and do it their way if they're unhappy, because really if you're driven to do something, you can get it done. And you've had your shop now how long? It's
been a little over 4 years, so 4.5 years now, I think.
Yeah. Would you say the first year is the hardest?
Oh, the first year was rough. I was by myself, in a new town where I didn't have any clientele, yet I had I still had my clientele. While I was trying to create a name in this new town, I would get walk-ins coming in, and it's just like I couldn't even do them. So it was just like, not that I was going to give up, but I felt like I was just every day I was like, what the hell? I keep turning away people, and I'm not going to be able to grow my business. I kept putting out feelers to get new artists to come work with me, and nobody was biting. And it's just, very lucky circumstance. One of the local guys in town who owns a shop, somebody had went in there looking for a job, and he actually pointed him in my direction, and that really kind of saved me, because that's where my growth really started. Because I couldn't neglect my old customers, but at the same time I wasn't making new ones,
right?
And that hurt. That's a big part of keeping the lights on, because it was a struggle for that first year by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Like, and I think that's kind of what happens a lot of times. And I'm a big believer in things. So I always feel like whenever things get kind of tough, a lot of times some kind of miracle will happen, or some kind of good thing will somehow happen at the right time and get things going in the right direction. And I also feel like nothing ever is worth it if it's not a little bit tough at first, because then anybody could do it. And by anybody, I mean the people who actually aren't hungry for it, and don't really care.
Exactly. And that was the thing too. I worked 6-7 days a week sometimes. It just constantly was there. And that got, it got a little much. I actually just started taking off a day, like I think about a year ago. I was like, all right, I need to start having an extra day off of work. So just for some peace of mind. It's that first year was really hard too, to stay positive. So it helps. Like my wife is pretty positive, so she helps kind of balance me out there, because I'd be like, man, this sucks. Nobody's coming in my shop.
And now you also.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, you also do traditional art like oil colors and stuff. Did you see that as kind of an escape from like your tattoo job, or is that just also, do you see that as kind of like another job? Was that actually fun to like stop doing tattooing and do other traditional art?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like with tattooing, you're so confined by the line work, It's just everything's got to be so perfect to where like oils are just so free and sketching is just so freeing, and you can just be as messy as you want and kind of see where it takes you. It's not as, linear. It's not the word I'm looking for, but kind of, it's very stringent.
Right, I guess with tattooing, and I'm not a tattoo artist at all, but I would imagine that there's somewhat of a formula, like you do your lines first, and then you do your shading, but you start from this color to that color or whatever. And
yes, exactly. And while something might look loose and have a looseness to it when you look at a tattoo, somebody might think, oh, it looks just like it was just done effortlessly. It's not. It's, a lot goes into making it look that way.
Right.
And I feel like with oil painting or watercolors, like you have a lot more freedom in how loose you can be. I really like that. It's not as, it's more freeing, not as, I don't feel as constrained. And I do it more as a getaway, just kind of relax and paint.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just was thinking, if like say like a Bigfoot or like a Sasquatch came in and like shaved the piece off for you to tattoo, do you think you would do it even though they might not have money?
Oh, good question.
If it was Bigfoot?
Yeah. And he like had a part of his body shaved off for you and came in pointing like, tattoo.
Well, it's Bigfoot, of course. I mean, that's funny. I had a conversation with somebody not long ago. I said, pick an appendage like pinky toe. I don't use my pinky toe. I would offer up my pinky toe just to meet Bigfoot. So,
okay, so he gets a free tattoo.
So he's definitely getting a free tattoo. I don't care what I have to shave.
No, he comes in. I'm saying he comes in shaved already. Like he has the spot picked out.
He's prepared.
Yeah, he's already shaved, but all he says is like, tattoo, and like points.
That's even better.
What do you think he would do on him? Because you really don't know like much else besides him saying that.
Well, it's Bigfoot, so I don't know. Maybe a nice spruce or a pine.
Yeah, but then Bigfoot's wife comes in and she's pissed. Oh man, she did not want him to get that tattoo. Now what happens? Your shop is wrecked.
or if he didn't like the tattoo, like what if he had a really bad experience with pine?
It'll be the end, like the end of that Bobcat movie where he drags the girl away. Yeah, that'll be fate.
I think he would damage it up. You've painted Bigfoot before, not in oil. I could imagine you doing that.
Not in oils. I've actually drawn him as tattoo flash.
Okay.
I've tattooed him a few times. I surprisingly don't have any Bigfoot tattoos, and it's funny you're talking about this because I literally said yesterday, I need a Bigfoot tattoo.
I was reading into the universe, the tiny universe.
Yeah, putting it out there.
I could see you doing paintings of Bigfoot though, like realistic ones, and people really eating them up, and like I could see it being your thing. You know what I mean? Like
the Bigfoot guy.
but like really good oil paintings. I don't really see that many out there, and you do really good oil paintings.
You really don't, actually. Now that you say that.
Or even like a Yeti, something.
Oh yeah, to me that's all the same universe.
Yeah, kind of.
Is it a big difference
between a Yeti and a Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Well, Yetis are more colder climates, I think.
Yeah, the Yeti is more like the Russian.
Yeah.
They live the very cold Western European like.
What's that knocking I hear?
That was me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My ADHD.
Somebody's at your door.
Nah, that's my ADHD. I'm always mental.
Talk to me.
It's Bigfoot. He's coming. Now,
I live near some barrens, the pine barrens. I don't know. There's been sightings around here.
I feel like something's gonna happen. Yeah, I feel like we're gonna make him manifest into your world.
Now the Bigfoot. Now I'm always the skeptic. I'm the yin to Gus's yang. And my thing is like, if there's a bunch of Bigfoot out there, how come we don't find Bigfoot bones? That's like my number one thing. So I don't know.
I have an answer for that.
I think they bury their dead. They're intelligent.
Sure, but you dig them up and you find their bones, right? Like. What?
Well, I have a different theory, and I learned this theory from a crazy artist and his mom. And I like it. They're interdimensional.
They're interdimensional, right?
Yeah, they're interdimensional.
I've heard that. Well, You know, Gus, to back that up, I mean, if you go on YouTube, sometimes if people see Bigfoot sightings, there tend to be orbs around.
Okay.
So it could be a plausible kind of theory.
I hear
Now,
them knocking.
who's in control of their travel? Are they that intelligent to be able to control their interdimensional travel? They seem like just kind of like unintelligent apes flobbing
I
around.
feel like, you know, if we've only had a handful of like good footage, so they've been elusive for a long time, so they have to have some intelligence on some level.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Have you
Well,
heard the story where they made it with a human and there was these kids? Did you guys see that?
No.
Oh, it's incredible. There was some Bigfoot woman and she made it with humans, and there was like these one or two dudes, and the dude looked like nobody else on the planet. Like he was like massive looking and very almost Neanderthal looking.
I do know that story. They actually apparently they had her body on display. Right,
Yeah.
what was her name? Oh, I know it. I've heard this story.
She might have been half human too, actually.
That's what they're saying. Like she was very she was she was very hairy and big, but like not completely covered in hair.
But she was massive. Like she wasn't like, your standard.
Yeah, no, she wasn't just your average housefrau. Like she
Yeah, she was different. Yeah,
like taking a turn into the Bigfoot territory.
Well, you mentioned like, oh, there's not that much good footage of Bigfoot. That was back in like the 80s and 90s when nobody had a camera in their pocket. Now, every single person on the planet, well, I'd say in America, let me say at least, has a camera in their pocket. So how come the Bigfoot videotapes haven't skyrocketed up to 1,000%?
Well, they have, yeah, right?
Yeah, they have, but it's so easy to fake stuff now that I feel like, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, there's one guy that Chris introduced me to that's pretty he was like posting a lot. Was it Thinker Thunker?
Thinker Thunker, yeah, he breaks down every little aspect of every video, and it's great. Like some of the stuff it seems like it's all right. This guy knows his stuff. Like it seems credible coming from him. But it's funny that the Patterson Gimlin footage is still like some of the best footage that we have.
Yeah, it holds up.
Yeah, just because of like the technology at the time, like there was no way they could have made a suit like that. Let alone like people tried to recreate like that gait that he has like when he's walking.
Yeah, and the muscle tissue you could see the muscle in certain parts, and that's hard to do.
Did you see the stabilized footage of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The crazy thing about that stabilized footage is they found out for the first time that it's a female. She has breasts. And I watched the special. I guess one of the guys who worked on Planet of the Apes back then said, it would have been hard enough to make a Bigfoot suit look that good, let alone make one look that good with breasts.
Well, I'm sure Jeff has a theory on it. What are you thinking?
What do I? Oh, I think it's a person in a suit, but that's just,
Well, yeah, I didn't know if you had like if you were, like had a different breakdown. Like, it's
when did Harry and the Hendersons come out? People were making those suits. When did Planet of the Apes come out? Like, that's like that technology existed. Fur, you could get a taxidermy suit. Yeah, you could make it. Stuff 2 pillows in your chest.
The 50s might have been a little harder. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, probably.
Because Harry and the Hendersons was a great movie, though.
Well, that's the thing too. Like if you're driving and you hit a Bigfoot, you don't stop. You keep going. Like you can't just stop. Like Dark Woods. No.
Is that a movie?
Harry and Hendersons.
Oh, okay. I thought Dark Woods is a movie.
Dark Woods.
That sounds like a good movie. Like you just see
like a good title. I'd go see it based on the title alone.
Check the IMDb.
Let's make that movie, Dark Woods. I like
if it's not about Bigfoot, it's a lost cause. And then,
name this episode of the podcast Dark Woods. There you go.
And then here's what you'll do. You'll give me all the materials that were available in the 50s, and I'll make a life-size Bigfoot suit, and I'll show you it can be done.
We have to film it, and we'll use it in the movie.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you should definitely pursue. That's a great idea.
But I will never wear a Bigfoot suit in public or in any kind of public area because I'm afraid I will get shot by someone.
No, you
Yeah,
don't.
well,
You make it big. Like you don't have a huge body frame.
Yeah.
So you got to get some big dude to wear it.
Yeah, but they might get shot.
No, we'll protect them.
You're filming in the woods. You're doing a long shot. Hey, go out there. 200 yards and then walk towards the camera. They're walking on someone's land. Some guy's like, "It's a Bigfoot. I'm gonna be on the news," and they shoot him with a long range rifle, and it's a whole
it's
scene.
funny. You would think that, but a lot of these sightings are people out hunting, and they seem terrified. Because I guess in the situation, it's like, holy shit, if it's that big and it's that fast, you kind of don't want to mess with it. And I mean, look at Harrington Henderson. He got hit by a station wagon.
I heard if you hit any animal, like if there's an animal and you can't slow down, like, you should just go right through it rather than brake, because then you get hurt if you brake. Is that?
Oh,
you
yeah.
get about that?
Well, you get hurt if you swerve off the road and hit a telephone pole. But not a moose. Don't hit a moose.
What if you have a Hummer?
You could hit the moose with a Hummer, but you take the legs right out, and all the mass is at the top, and it just crushes your windshield and crushes you and ruins the car. You gotta watch those moose.
That's for all of our Alaska listeners.
Hey, or New Hampshire. When I did snow sculpting, I learned about New Hampshire having moose.
Oh wow!
You want to know something else I learned? Canadian geese?
Nope. But
they're not.
Yep.
They're not Canadian geese. They're Canada geese.
Oh.
What?
You're not allowed to call them Canadian. That's not their nationality. That's their species. So it's a Canada goose and a bunch of Canada geese.
I did not know that.
I learned that. Yeah.
Is that a Mandela effect?
No. That's just the thing. It's you hear Canadian goose. It's not a Canadian goose. It's a Canada goose. They don't. It's not their nationality. It's their species. So you can't just change it however you like.
So what about the American bald eagle? I call that the American bald eagle.
How would you change it?
It's the America bald eagle.
America.
Is American bald eagle? I don't think that's part of the species name, is it? It's just bald eagle.
This is bald eagle, but you always hear American bald eagle.
You always do hear American, yeah.
I don't know that I hear it. I just associate it automatically.
Yeah.
Huh, they picked it because the guy said, "What would you rather be?" One of the founding fathers of America said, "Would you rather be a bear, a shark, or an eagle?" And they all picked eagle.
Well, I think it could have been a turkey. I think Benjamin Franklin, he wasn't a president, but I think he was pushing for turkey.
He was.
That's what I hear.
Because there were so many turkeys, I guess.
Now, is it illegal to kill a bald eagle?
Yeah.
They're not endangered anymore. I think it's still because it's our national bird. I think
it's frowned upon, or you can't do it.
It's probably definitely frowned upon.
Well, you at least need a hunting license, but
yeah, but I don't think eagle season is like.
It'd be funny if there was a ton of eagles because we can't kill them. Like if there was like eagles everywhere and they just were dicks.
Yeah, then it'd be different.
Yeah.
Well, because you ever hear other things like you can't kill a praying mantis or you can't kill a hummingbird or something, but that's all. That's not true. Like you can kill a praying mantis. There's no law that says you can't.
Do you remember being a kid though and like just being terrified of that though?
Yeah. You got you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what you hear.
Because little boys want to kill everything.
Yeah. And how did stuff like that come into play? Like who started that rumor? Like
I heard that's definitely true. It's not true. You're saying it's just a rumor?
Why would they make it illegal to kill a praying mantis? That doesn't make any sense. That's just an insect.
No, because they help out a lot. Supposedly they help like with some kind of population. It's almost like getting rid of all the bees or something. I don't know. Supposedly they get rid of certain insects and it helps the world go round.
Yeah, they're beneficial, but I don't. Yeah. You can't. There's no law that says you can't kill. I don't know, butterflies.
It's beneficial, yeah. If there's no law that says you can't kill a spider.
Right, and spiders are just as beneficial as praying mantises.
If not more.
Yeah. And those thousand-leggers that like show up in your basement.
They're just begging to die.
They are, but they eat spiders.
I killed an unusual insect when I was a kid, and it kind of haunted me. I've never seen one the rest of my life, too. It was a gigantic orange or yellow, like a yellowish caterpillar.
Really?
Yeah, and it was gigantic. And like it scared the shit out of me, and my impulse reaction was I stepped on it.
Yeah. Are you sure it wasn't a hot dog?
No, but I've never seen one again. And it kind of like bothers me that I killed it, you know? I was probably like 5 years old or 6.
Yeah, maybe it could have just not as been as big as you remember, because when you're a kid, like, stuff is huge.
That's true.
Yeah. My wife got stuck. I'd never seen this caterpillar in my life until 3 years ago, I think it was. She was in the garden, and it's called a saddleback caterpillar. It looks like a caterpillar wearing a traffic safety vest. Never seen anything like it in my life.
Sounds
So
adorable.
she had, I guess it pricked her finger when she was out in the garden, and she
Right.
called. She's like, my mouth is numb. And then I was like, yeah, you're fine. You're probably just having anxiety. And then she calls me back half an hour, no, not even half an hour, 5 minutes later, and says, all right, my throat's closing up. So she had to go to the hospital and get a EpiPen.
Oh,
Wow.
jeez.
Yeah, because it's got these little spines on it. It stuck out, and I guess one of them hit her in the finger.
Oh, yeah, that's great. You got to watch out with those caterpillars. You don't even.
I bet
Yeah,
I bet I saved somebody's life by stepping on that caterpillar when I was a kid.
you probably did. It was probably out. It was out for blood.
Yes, and I don't feel so bad. I feel good.
See how we rationalize things in our life? You can rationalize anything. It deserved it.
But you could have saved the life of, somebody on par with like Hitler or something. So, you never know.
I knew you were going to bring Hitler into this. I knew it. I don't know, for some reason, whenever people think that, like, kill someone, it's Hitler. You know?
Well,
That's the go-to. It's an easy target.
yes. Yeah. If you can go back in time, would you kill baby Hitler or would you raise him?
You mean raise them right?
That's a tough question.
Well, one's a lot easier than the other. But
Yeah, raise him to just be the same asshole that he was.
Well, here's the only thing that worries me about that. It's like if you went back in time, I would try not to do much because, the butterfly effect of something small could be massive. I wonder if you change something so big, if like, who knows if the whole planet would be gone. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It just seems it's such a scary thing. It's so massive of a change.
But see the time thing, like the going back in time thing, it's always so weird to me because that would have to mean, well, to me anyway, that there's multiple dimensions. Because to me, if you could go back in time at any time, then the future has already happened and people have already gone back to any point in time and, blown up the earth or whatever it is. And so that would have already happened. So in this timeline, in this dimension or whatever, that nobody's done that yet. And so we're all still alive.
Well, here's
Does that
an
make
idea.
sense?
Well, here's an idea real quick. You just really inspired me. Time travelers and aliens. I'm writing this down on the paper right now as I'm drawing. Do something to me in the next day or two, and help me out here, folks. 1 to 2 days. Make something happen. You know what I mean? Like this is we're time marking it. It's on the internet. In a video, it's got to do something. Like they should pick that up, right?
If the aliens are watching YouTube,
it's already happened. I mean, they'll see it.
So then, yeah. Whoop.
I had a weird thought about time travel the other day. Not necessarily time travel, but okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you believe in, past lives and all that stuff. So
I do. Jeff doesn't.
I figured as much. So
well, you're a long time listener, so you know our
yeah. So, people always think of past lives. They think when they die, they go into a past life, like, as far as the past goes. I was thinking about this, like, time isn't what we would perceive it to be when we're dead. So who's to say that when you died, if you did go into somebody else, you didn't just go into the past. Like, time's not linear.
Right. It's circular in a sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, it just could be, my late night thinks, crazy thoughts, but.
No, I agree with. I like that. I never heard that one. So you could die, you're saying, wake up and it's 1920.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, in that scenario, are you a different person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you could be a different gender, could be anything.
Yeah, you could be completely different, whatever. Like, I could be Chinese.
But you have to be a human mammal.
I mean,
No.
I would think, I don't really know. I would hope so.
I think you
Well,
could be animal. I think you could be animals.
You
Ma-
could. I mean, there's some pretty charming animals out there.
Can you be a bacteria, a single-celled organism? That's life.
Possible.
See, I feel like if you do believe in that, then you believe that you have some kind of choice. And I feel like you wouldn't want to come back as some kind of amoeba.
Now you have a choice. Who's offering this choice, and how do you choose? With what language?
Exactly. I feel like, if you do believe in that, then you have to believe that there's some sort of like pick,
I like to think it's a big giant wheel, like a wheel of fortune wheel. And you're just like, it's like tick 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 tick, and there's 6 million trillion things.
I would think you start off smaller, and or what if you really fucked up in your life and maybe you were Hitler? You're not coming back as a human. You might come back as a dog or a spider or who knows, a snake, and then you have that, and then you could move up a little bit, and you might not get to be a human ever again. You know what I mean? Or you eventually can, as long as you clear yourself of all the things.
And somebody's making that decision that says this person was bad, and so
it's possible.
Maybe you're like, man, that was an asshole. I should just go back as a duck. Who knows?
Or you could be a slime mold, which is the intersection of plant and animal. And if that's allowed in this spectrum, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
Or you can come back as Bigfoot.
Well, good, because then you could just travel through any dimension you want, and you're
exactly
you're free.
Well, I don't know if there's that many dimensions right by us. Like, I almost feel like there's different parallels. I'm almost confusing myself on this, but I feel like dimensions. Think about it. Dimensions, you can step in and out, but I don't know.
Isn't there supposed to be an infinite amount of, worlds or dimensions?
Yeah, it might not be dimensions, though. It might be parallels, like happening at the same time.
Parallel universes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an infinite amount of universes. So basically, what is the theory? If you say something, then it's happened.
Yeah, like right now, there's the scenario where while we're doing this podcast, Chris realizes he just won a shit millions of dollars, and he's like kind of losing his mind and trying to hide it, and then he just gets all excited and freaks out. It's happening right now.
I want to move to that dimension. That's fine.
I think you'd like that.
Another reason to find Bigfoot.
Yeah, there's another dimension where right now that's what we're doing, all three of us. We're just talking in the woods, and we're looking for Bigfoot. We're about to find them.
We're all big feet. We're all Bigfoot. Not big feet, right?
What's funny? I just finished watching that movie Smallfoot, that animated movie. It's about Yetis.
Yeah. How was it?
It was all right. It wasn't what I expected. It's got like these religious undertones, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Really?
Yeah, this whole like don't question your religion, like
wow.
But then it's like these people do question it, and they find out there's so much more to life, and then like it was kind of interesting. I was picking up on it.
I've noticed a lot of movies seem to do that.
Any examples, Chris?
One understand. I mean, obviously, I just watched because at work I tend to throw on things in the background just for noise that I've seen a million times. So I put on that Seth Rogen movie, that cartoon that he did. With
the food.
What is it called?
Sausage Party?
Yeah.
It's sausage. I mean, it's very obvious in your face, but it's just like, wow, there's a lot of religious undertones in this movie. Like,
hey, Jeff, you're gonna kill me. I think my video didn't record until right now because we stopped and we had to redo it.
Oh, I thought you started back up though.
I thought I did. Did I say I did? Yeah.
Well, yeah, you said you did.
Oh, maybe something happened. That's never happened before.
We'll find out. That's fine.
All right. If it's 2 videos, it's 2 videos.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good band.
It's funny. I never really watched. I mean, I listened to it on YouTube, because I can't ever seem to find the podcasts on the app that I use.
Huh.
So I've been listening. I listen to it when I'm on the elliptical, or not the elliptical, the treadmill, or when I'm running.
Yeah.
And early in the morning, I've been trying to wake up and get back to the art thing, I guess, for a second. I noticed I was in a rut, and I was just coming home tired from work. So I was just like, man, I didn't feel like doing anything creative for myself at all. But I kept having, drive to want to do something. So I completely changed my schedule around, and now I go to bed at 9:30, and I wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really hard for me because I'm used to going to bed at 2 and waking up at, 9, going to work a couple hours later, drawing my appointments and whatever. But that lack of just months and months of only drawing tattoo appointments and then doing my own personal stuff on a weekend, it's just it wasn't enough. So I just completely changed my schedule around. Like I said, I just started getting up at 5 a.m. and now I get up, work out, and then I spend a couple hours drawing. I was painting this morning, and it's made a huge change. I've been doing it for about a month now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I've produced more personal stuff in the last month than I have in the last 6 months.
Well, that's funny you say that, because I almost did the exact same thing where I got kind of into a rut and I started going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. The exact same thing you're saying, and I feel like I'm so much more productive now.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, just that little change. And I think that's, if anybody else is in a rut like that, if you want to, if you think you're staying up till 2 a.m, watching YouTube or flipping through your phone or watching TV or something, try to get to bed early. Try and wake up a little early. It takes a little discipline, but
it was exactly it. And a big part of it too was so when I'm staying up till 2 a.m, I'm a night person, but I would still be drained from tattooing all day, and I wouldn't have that fresh of a mind.
Yeah.
Whereas in the morning, it's like, bam, you're just, the switch is turned on, you're ready to go.
Oh yeah, sun's coming up. It's the human way, the way that, cavemen did it. You wake up when the sun comes up, and then, when you can't hunt down any more brontosaurus at night, when the sun goes down, you go to bed,
Exactly. But it's honestly one of the best things that I think I've ever done.
Wow. That's really cool.
And I know you're getting up early now, Gus. You've been getting up a lot earlier.
Yeah, earlier than I used to. Like most of my life, I was kind of the last year and a half, I've tried harder than I ever did in my life, and I used to not. And I almost look back and go, how the hell did I even live as an artist for so many years? But yeah, no, I have a whole different routine than I used to have, and yeah, I am way more productive than I was 4 years ago. I'll tell you that.
That's awesome, and you see it. I see it a lot. And it definitely shows in your work.
Yeah, and I think that's just like a muscle to me. It's like anything, and the more you do something and you keep doing it, and in my head it's like projects. The more projects you work on and things you put on yourself and you accomplish them, it becomes easier to keep that task up. Whereas if sometimes somebody will only have one project and they'll always talk about it, but it'll take them years and years and years, and they might not even finish it ever.
Yeah.
So I think there's some kind of muscle thing there where you keep doing it, and it becomes easier. You don't make such a big deal about it.
I feel like that's the good thing about tattooing. It constantly challenges you because people come in and they just give you ideas, and you're constantly kind of not going out of your comfort zone constantly, but you tend to have to step out of your comfort zone, and it keeps that muscles kind of flexing.
Yeah, because you have to do different styles and all kinds of things, right? I mean, it could be a weird portrait, or it could be something you would have never thought to ever draw in your life.
Exactly. And that's, somebody like me, you do have people who only do their stuff, and that's just what they do. But like somebody like me, I kind of cut my teeth in what they call a street shop. So I just did whatever came in the door. And honestly, looking back in retrospect, I think it made me a way better artist because, you know, rather than being like, no, I only do American traditional or I only do this, like it
Yeah.
forced me to go out of my comfort zone so much that now it's just like, it doesn't faze me. I'm like, whatever, you want this, I'll do it for you.
Yeah. It's,
And
it's, it's pretty smart in a sense. I mean, gives you more clientele, I would think.
It does. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm there to make money. You know, I'm not, a lot of people are like, you know, I'm going to do my art, my style. And I understand that. And I get jealous of people that can do that. But at the same time, it's like, I'm there to make money. So, I mean, I'm going to try to give you the best tattoo that I can give you to my ability. But, you know, I'm there
And
to
I
my
think you
bills.
still have your own style at the same time, though, too. I think whenever you do those things, I think, what do you think on that? Your style coming through a little bit on those?
Yeah, because there's definitely like, I guess it would be because my own hand is to it. You know, you can kind
Yeah.
of see that I did it. It's like, you know, I've worked in a shop with multiple artists, and the line drawing for the tattoo, they could be scattered all over the back, and I can tell you who did what line drawing.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I can't see it in my own. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to see it, but I can see everybody else's, and other people
Yeah.
can see mine.
yeah,
It's
kind of reminds me. I was flipping channels and I think Ink Masters came on. And before you say anything, we had Carly Cooper. I was on here. She's a special effects artist. And we asked her what she thought about Face Off. And so
Yeah,
I'm interested to know on that show what you're saying is like, you know, I think there were some guys on there that were really good at like bold color, like new school stuff. And then they were asked to do like black and gray portraiture. And then I felt bad for these canvases because like they were doing terrible because that's not their style. How do you feel about those TV shows like that?
oh, them shows. Well, I honestly, when it first came out, I was curious and I watched it, and it just seemed like it was too much drama. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't really, it's not realistic. You can't give somebody a time constraint to do a tattoo. That's just stupid. And then, like, you know, and to like grade somebody on, you know, their art when they could have somebody that's sitting like complete garbage. Like I've, it doesn't happen that often, but I've had people sit so bad that it's just like, there's no way in hell I can do a good tattoo on you. There's just no way. And to hold somebody accountable for that, their client's behavior is just so stupid. And I think the shows are dumb. Like I just do, but people love them.
Yeah, it's entertainment, right? That's the whole thing. It's not reality, but it's entertainment.
I feel
Yep.
like it made I feel like that culture made tattoos more popular though. Like I
It-
think that's why there's so many shops today from TV.
That was my other part. That was my part that I like about it is it made tattooing more accessible to people. Like
Yeah.
because you know I started tattooing before the show came out, a couple years before the show came out, and it was a whole different thing back then. God, there were weeks where I made nothing. You know, like it's amazing. Like I feel like one of them old guys. I'm like, all right, I've been tattooing for. It's crazy to think about it, but it's almost been 16 years, and it's just shit has changed so much. Like now, it's like you have all these people who can choose what they want to do. Like I only do American traditional, or I only do that. It wasn't like that when I started. It was you did what came in the door. You know, like
Yeah.
there weren't so many people getting tattooed to where you could do that. You know, so
Right.
when them shows came out, it just I saw it like happening. Just more and more people started coming in. Maybe there was a stigma attached to tattoo shops that kind of, you know, the soccer mom kind of saw that, oh, it's, you know, it's not that bad. Like I see this person getting tattooed, this person getting tattooed. Just kind of opened the door. So I honestly, like, as much as I dislike them, I'm grateful
Right.
because it's allowed me, you know, I definitely feel like it's had something to do with allowing me to be able to keep my doors open and tattoo for a living.
Well, one thing I'm curious on, you know, because part of the new wave, it seems like face tattoos are getting really popular for the youth. Have you noticed that spiking at all? Does that ever happen through your shop?
Oh yeah, no, I don't do them. I just won't do them. It used to be, you know, you do get a lot more people asking now, and it's like people that you would never in a million years think would have a face tattoo. But
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want to be responsible for you not being able to get a job ever.
What if they already have like 2 of them or 1 of them on their
If
face?
they already have 1
Yeah.
or 2, then obviously they don't care. So I mean, I don't care at that point, I guess.
Yeah,
So what about?
I don't know if that was like part of it, because if you think about it, it's like, it's because I think it's becoming one of those hot spots where it used to be the upper arm. That's where you get tattooed. You could kind of hide it. It doesn't hurt that much. And I almost feel like now a tattoo out of the gate, sometimes people are like, yep, the face, first thing.
Exactly.
I want people to see my tattoo. I want them to know I'm a rapper or a personality, that kind of thing.
It's like, remember, what was it, in kind of the mid 2000s, you'd see people with like sleeves and neck tattoos, but they take their shirt off. It looks like they're wearing some kind of weird turtleneck, like without any like sticky.
Yeah.
And it's like thick black tribal.
Yeah. It's like they just went straight for the arms and neck, just didn't do the back or the chest or any of them, just, what you could see, which is kind of ridiculous. I feel like if you're going to get tattooed, then, granted, yeah, it's for you, but, or it's to look cool, but I feel like ultimately it's just because you like getting tattooed and you like tattoos. Like, God, I don't have my neck tattooed. It's not anything I ever thought I would do.
Well, and then the other weird thing is, I feel like it's really common for people to have weak tattoos, like a really simple outline that's not even well done. And I think youth is like really happy with that. They almost think it's kind of cool. It's like, I just have this little tiny black outline thing. It's kind of crappy, but that's what I got, and I like it.
Oh no, that's a big thing now. Oh my God, you see it all over. You get on Instagram and you see it. A lot of the kind of the old Russian jail tattoos, like where you'll see where they're just like kind of black, or like little stick and pokes. They're big little stick and pokes now too. Like I think
it's the Instagram culture, I think, has been changing what people want to do, and it's so weird how all these things constantly change and shift. It is all the art world and it is the tattoo world. It's just things are, it's always changing completely. Like what people want, they either want something. It used to be you want the best tattoo you can get, and you want it to be really just amazing in some sense, and then that was the thing.
Yeah, you would research your artist.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't matter. Like, I think I told you this story, Gus. There was a guy, I'm not going to mention any names, but I met a girl at a party, and she had the tiniest little thin outline of a flower. I swear it was the size of a quarter.
Wow.
Nah. I asked her, I was like, oh, that's cool. And Tim said, ask her how much she paid for it. Size of a quarter. Probably would have taken me maybe 5 minutes. He paid, I think it was $1,200 for it.
Right.
What?
Yeah. And then she basically got mad and all huffy, and she said, it's my money and I'll do what I want with it. Because she said, what would you charge for something like this? I said, I don't know. It took me 5 minutes. The shop minimum's $80. So somewhere in that area. No, she paid $1,200 for it.
Yeah,
like,
it's a mind-blowing story.
And it wasn't even like, it wasn't phenomenal. It's just because, I guess this guy has a lot of followers and he does this kind of thing. And it almost seems criminal to me,
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, I try to look at it like it's almost the art of it. Like it's, art only has value because people make it have value. And I think it's becoming more like that almost. That's how I see it. Like a painting, a masterpiece painting that nobody will paint is almost worthless. But you get that same exact painting and you say this guy did it, and it could be worth $1 million or more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd have time calling that flower art, but
Yeah.
I know exactly.
But yeah, because it's like we've talked about the banana thing before, and that's not art by far in a sense.
No.
It's almost I think that's happening finally to the tattoo world, where people are treating it that way. We're like, hey, this is my thing. Makes me want to start doing tattoos and just He's charging an outrageous amount.
The more it looks like a sketch on on your social studies notebook in middle school, that's the better.
Exactly. Or I joke like the desk in detention.
Matter of fact, what I'm drawing right now, I'm gonna say is new Think Flash. This is all Flash on this page, and any of these I'll tattoo for like a lot of money though. It has to be a lot.
Think Fridays.
Yeah.
Gus actually, Gus has tattooed me.
Yes, he did. And I signed it and he got mad.
You did? Yeah, I have Gus's name on my leg. Oh man, Stick Sisters for life.
Yeah, we're stick sisters. He tattooed a stick sister on me. It's this character from something scary I do, and then I gave him like a really simple like not even the same, but we pretended it was the same.
Stick sister.
It was fun.
I like it though.
No, when I was young, I tattooing was like I almost was going to become a tattoo artist, and certain situations happened where my tattoos I did on people disappeared because I didn't know I wasn't shaking the ink, and I was doing it like leaving my kit in my trunk, and the tattoos disappeared.
Everything that you should absolutely not do, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is back when you couldn't find anything out. It was really difficult to find information out, and I didn't apprentice or anything.
No, that's how it was, man. I mean, like I said, when I first started tattooing, it was like that. It was just, I remember, if you didn't have Flash, I remember we would get the catalogs for, whatever, like Cam Supply or Huck Spalding or something, and they would have these pages in the back where it was like little tiny pictures of Flash, and it's that they were selling. And it's not like you even had a camera phone. You couldn't take a picture of it and zoom in on it. I'd get a magnifying glass and I would look at it and I'd draw the tiger off of it,
Yeah,
just make
that business kind of went away, right? I'm guessing the Flash business, the buying Flash art, right?
Some people still do it. I mean, I buy Flash still, especially if it's an artist that I like and something they put out like.
And then do people come in and get it tattooed, or do you just like to have it?
I just like to have it. I mean, honestly, people rarely get Flash. People are more likely to bring in their phone and show me something off Pinterest or whatever, Google. That's kind of replaced Flash for the average person getting tattooed.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's kind of weird is back in like 2002, there used to be this website called Tattoo Johnny. And
I remember.
Yeah, and I submitted a bunch of designs, and like people will find those designs now, and they'll get them tattooed. It's really weird. Like they'll show me pictures, and I think my mom gets the checks, and it's like, so I'll get these like checks for like maybe like $1.27, and like I don't even take it. You know what I mean? But it's like
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's really weird. But
yeah, people would bring them in sometimes. They would be like, I bought this on Tattoo Johnny, and it would have like this really bad line drawing with it, and it was you'd have to redraw it.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny. I remember somebody. It wasn't from your Flash, but I remember. God, this was like maybe. How long have I known you?
We've probably known each other about 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was probably like 9 years ago that somebody came in to get a tattoo, and I'm like, this skull looks familiar, and I'm like, and then I'm like, holy shit! I was like, this is my friend Gus's. It was a little skull gnome tattoo.
Yeah, that's funny.
And he was like, oh, you know that guy? I was like, yeah. I just thought it was funny. Like this guy randomly comes in to get tattooed, and he wants a skull gnome tattoo. It's just, small world.
Skull right. He's right here for anybody listening. There he is. Boop. Yeah. No, that makes me happy hearing stuff like that. I'm always fighting to not only make an impact, but like, I don't know. I want to make a mark, and I want to like wake up. I always say this, but I want to wake up and like feel like the world's kind of a cooler place, even if it's not all because of me, but just the fact that it could turn cooler. Because I almost feel like it's getting weirder and like not in a good way, and I don't know. I'm kind of freaking out.
I feel like maybe it just always has its ups and downs all the time, but now that we're so connected, we know about them on a micro level.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going through a weird thing right now where the media has finally got their grasp back on people, so they have this control now. Like, if they don't like your YouTube channel, they'll shut it down. If they don't, and then whatever the news says, people will tweet about it, they'll post about it, and almost like it makes the flood happen really fast.
Yeah.
It's just kind of strange.
Yeah, like Jeff said, I think that's a big part of it too. We're kind of all living under a microscope with, the ability, the accessibility to news. Like, it's just back in the day, something would happen and you wouldn't hear about it because it was in Kansas.
Yeah.
Right. Or even on the other side of the world, and it doesn't affect you in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it's like 24/7 news.
You could fuck up like in 1998 in public, and that would just be that thing you did that day. Where if you do it now, and it doesn't even have to be a fuck up. It could just be something dumb, like just or random, or you didn't even mean to do it, and then it could be everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Life changing.
Like some of them 80s hair bands, they would have never survived today. The amount of stuff they were into, it's like they would have been Me Too left and right.
Oh yeah. I think some of that stuff's even coming out, but I'm not even talking about that kind of level either.
I know.
Yeah, like you could just I don't know, maybe you threw like a hamburger in the recycling on accident because you didn't see.
Oh, then you're done. You'll never be able to run for office. They'll bring that back up.
Dude, like, look at this asshole. Like, that's real smart. And
then everybody will get their pitchforks and torches and just go after you because that's the mentality.
It's funny you say hamburger. Right before we were on, I was reading news on my phone, and there was somebody had found a In-N-Out burger on the street in New York, and it baffled everybody. They had no idea where it came from because, In-N-Out is a West Coast thing.
Oh, yeah.
And a girl came forward and she was like, yeah, it was my burger. She said, I got it on a plane, kind of rushed, and I must have dropped it. But it was like a perfect crap. They just got it at the drive-thru In-N-Out burger.
So people are like getting all conspiracy about it. They're like, is this weird glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah. In-N-Out burger appears in the middle of the street. Like, yeah.
Oh, I would love to do stuff like that. If the thing is, like, I'm glad you're hearing about it because I feel like if somebody came up with that idea, like, oh, it's going to be so funny, I'll get this burger from 3,000 miles away and leave it here, and then everybody would be so confused. But, like, somebody could have just, like, walked up and threw it in the trash and kept going. But, like,
exactly,
the fact that it turned into something is so cool.
It's brilliant. Like, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, this would actually be something kind of cool to do.
Hearing you say that, like, I'm just throwing out random things. Like, I really didn't know about that. It that always feeds into me thinking like that this reality is already kind of made. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could think some wacky thing and then like tomorrow will be the headline in the news. You could play around with it and things will happen.
I believe I sort of think, well, that we're the architects of our own reality. I feel like you can kind of create your own reality. I know you believe that as well.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, it is weird though.
But wait, is your reality different than mine? Am I a figment of your imagination?
Well, what did you say?
This question's for Chris.
Yes.
Yeah. So what am I in your reality? Do you affect my reality as well, or am I just made up?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, Gus is probably laughing because I remember we've had this conversation before. Like, I actually went through a period. It was like a year ago. I went through a pretty bad anxiety period where I didn't feel like anything was real, like anybody was real, and I made everybody up. So it was, I had to start taking medication. Let's just put it that way. Because I truly believe that, like, I guess they call it disassociation disorder, but depersonalization disorder. I had it really bad for a while there, and I still get glimpses of it. But yeah, I had this thing where reality was just like, my reality was just, I was convinced it wasn't real. Nothing was real. You weren't real. And my wife assured me every day that, yeah, I am real. It's not part of your imagination. But
Yeah, but sounds like something somebody fake would say.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. Am I triggering you? I didn't mean to.
no, but that was my argument. That's exactly what my argument was. Well, I feel like I would have like kind of thought you to say that just to make you more believable.
I mean,
yeah.
I like Chris's theory on that, and yeah, I'm a pretty weird guy. Like in my head, I'm thinking I want to take the medication. I would have gone deeper down that madness hole, and I've gone deep in different weird thoughts and had to pull myself out of them. So
yeah,
well, it started affecting my life. Like I literally like couldn't leave the house for like, you remember, I guess I think I lost like 10 pounds. It I don't know what it was. It just hit me one day. You know what actually got me started on it was the whole flat Earth thing. It fucked me up. But it started affecting me, and I tried everything natural under the sun, and it was just nothing. Like I saw it. I'm a very proactive person. When something's broke, I want to fix it. I want to figure out how to fix it. So I did everything.
Right.
Worked out. I ate healthy. Well, I still eat healthy, but every supplement you can think of, every natural thing. Like I was even shocking my freaking brain, meditating. Like everything. Nothing works. I was like, fuck. I'm gonna try medicine.
And just to clear the air, me and Chris do not believe the Earth is flat. Like we don't want that.
You came back around, huh?
Yeah,
we never believe. I never believed the Earth was flat. It's just that
you have to put yourself in the, hey, you got to put yourself in a situation where you kind of could believe it, if that makes sense. You like to look at it from somebody else's perspective and understand why they believe it.
Yeah, and I enjoy that. I love a good, well, what's your weird argument? You know what I mean? Because like, I get fascinated just by people's theories. If somebody had a weird theory that like this is all just a Super Nintendo game, and he had really good reasons why, I'd be so curious to watch that. I'd love it.
Well, the simulation theory, like I buy that one more than anything. Like the fact that we're actually living in a simulation. Like there's too many people smarter than I am that actually believe that.
That's true. Yeah.
And, that's one of them things, too, that kind of bugged me out a little bit thinking about that. It wasn't just flat Earth, because flat Earth's ridiculous. Like, sorry if I'm offending flat Earthers out there, but it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, here the thing with the simulation to me is, like, I think when we think about that, we think about it the wrong way. Like, we almost think like we're in a computer, like a low-tech computer.
Exactly, yeah.
And I don't think that's what it is by far, but I think it's so advanced and organic, and it's not even a computer at this point.
It's a whole new reality. It's a very advanced game of Sim, maybe. Who knows?
Well, and I think that's what like when people have an afterlife experience or something, or DMT experience, they're almost getting out of that and then going to the other place. And I think that's like out of the game.
But if it is a simulation and it's so perfect, then wouldn't you put stuff in to prevent the ability to leave it like that? Like if you're making code, you would write things that would predict every way to break it, and then you would patch it.
Well, death isn't a bad code. I mean, that's a safe code.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of life.
And so that's the way to leave the simulation, though.
It seems that way. I'm not telling people to do that, but I'm just thinking it's from what I've researched on afterlife experiences and stuff. It seems like that is the other place. Call it whatever you want. It's people call it heaven. People call it
something.
Yeah, I think that's back to. I mean, we just had our last show. We had a girl who did DMT, Karen, and then she said. It was a familiar place, almost like she was there before she was born. So to me, that matches the same thing as when you die.
See, I've done DMT. I mean, I've heard people have them experiences. Like, I didn't have.
What was your experience? I thought you had a pretty cool experience in DMT.
I think maybe some of my anxiety wouldn't let me go, completely.
Right.
I think that was a big part of it. Like I've heard people talk to the machine elves and stuff like that. I didn't really have that experience.
People you know talk to machine elves?
No. I've heard people.
Okay.
The government gets together and they all smoke DMT and they do it in a group and they all have a shared experience.
Yeah, I kind of heard about that. Yeah.
They talk to the machine elves. Like I want to know who the government is anyway. Who's doing that?
Yeah.
But yeah, mine was just very. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like for me, kind of hard. It's almost like trying to describe a dream that I had, and I can vaguely remember it at this point.
Right. Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like I do remember little bits of it, but it was weird. Definitely pretty intense 15, 20 minutes. Just
wow,
everything.
That's pretty long.
Real. Yeah, I mean, it feels longer. Honestly, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
But it's very weird. It's almost like waking up from a dream that you had.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, Karen was talking about it, and it seems like people have different experiences and stuff, and I don't know that it's opening a door to another dimension or whatever, but to me, I think it's definitely altering the chemicals and the reactions in your brain in some way. I mean, have you ever had like surgery where you had to be put under?
No, well, apart from wisdom teeth, but that was like I closed my eyes and I basically felt like I just opened them. Yeah,
right,
like
exactly, right. So you have no recollection of that time. Your brain basically turned itself off. So your brain is very powerful and can trick your brain and trick you into thinking things or not believing in anything, including time. So the idea that I close my eyes, open my eyes again, your brain has no record of time. And so it has the ability to change your perception in very dramatic ways. So, DMT or whatever chemical it's influencing or whatever channels or receptors it's influencing seems to be, so in my opinion anyway, what causes all your thoughts.
The curious thing about DMT, like, why is it in us? You know what I mean? Like, why do we have it in us? Like, what's its purpose inside of us? Maybe
Chris is saying it's naturally inside of us already.
It's in every single living human thing. Like, it's in plants, every animal.
DMT is?
Yes.
What does it stand for?
Dimethyltryptamine. I think I'm probably butchering it. Dimethyltryptamine, one of them. But
so how do you make it? Not that we want a recipe on air, but is it extracted from plants or something?
Yeah, it is.
Why don't we just take it from sheep or algae or grass?
It's in everything. Apparently, like, what is it? So I'm probably butchering this, but ayahuasca. So what it is you have the DMT plant, and then you have the tea. It's some sort of maybe a root, I don't know, but it's an MAY inhibitor. So what it does is it actually turns off our natural MAY inhibitor and allows the DMT to get digested. And that's why you trip for like 8-9 hours, and then you puke because whatever root or whatever plant they're putting in there to turn off the MAY or the natural inhibitor within us is poisonous to us. So it makes you vomit and shit and all that. But there's that. Like, we have it in us, so we don't eat a salad and blast off into space. That's what happened. But
that'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Who knows? I mean, some comedian had a joke about it. They were talking about DMT. It's not legal. It's illegal.
Oh, it's illegal? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's illegal, but I forget what comedian. They were like, the craziest thing about it is it's illegal, yet everybody has it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like Joe Rogan would say that.
Well, I was gonna say we're working towards our goal of slowly turning this podcast into the Joe Rogan podcast, and it's working.
I know we're talking about DMT. Jesus, we just got to talk about hunting elk and whatever.
Hunting elk.
No, we hunt Bigfoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, haven't found one yet, but we hunt them.
It's on the list. If Bigfoot's out there listening, I'm willing to give my pinky toe to meet you.
Yeah,
well, and that's
not hurt you.
That's that's a good way to wrap it up. So that's the offer that Chris is making. So any Bigfoots out there, if you either want a peaky toe or a tattoo, get in contact with Chris.
Chris Schatz,
Uh,
Gentleman Jack Tattoos.
yeah, that's right. So Chris, yeah, we're on the East Coast here. If anybody wants to get an awesome tattoo or see more of your work, where can they get in touch with you?
On my Instagram. What is my Instagram? Chris Schatz Tattoos. Or the shop Instagram, Gentleman Jack Tattoos.
Awesome. Okay. Well,
way to get a hold of me.
We covered a lot of topics, and thank you so much for being on the show, Chris. It was awesome talking to you and getting to know you
Thank
more.
you for having me.
All right. Thanks so much. And for everybody listening, hopefully you catch us on the next one. See you.
Sunset.
Later.